بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين، واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم my beloved ones ورحمة الله وبركاته. So we still are stuck in the rules of SAEE between Safa and Marwa, and we completed a section. This section is, what if someone's SAEE becomes invalid due to the due to due to either unawareness or forgetfulness, or he abandoned the sa'i. Okay, so this chapter is hukmu man batala sa'yuhu, ruling of someone who has whose sa'i became invalid, or he did not perform the sa'i out of unawareness or out of forgetfulness. So this is what we are going to focus, inshallah, in this session. We have about 5 rulings here. Let's see. So ruling number 1 is about the invalidation of sa'i. So if someone's sa'i becomes invalid, be it in Umrah al-Tamattu or Hajj al-Tamattu, if someone realizes that his sa'i was invalid in Umrah al-Tamattu or in Hajj al-Tamattu, where Umrah of the Hajj, Umrah al-Tamattu, we said Umrah of Hajj. When did he realize? After Dhul Hajj was passed, after Dhul Hajj passed. So he realized, I mean, it was out of unawareness, forgetfulness, that the sa'i was invalid. So what is the responsibility? Kiss your Hajj goodbye. يحكم ببطلان حج. His Hajj will be considered invalid. And that's the reason we say that. I mean, come on, sa'i is one of the pillars of manasik al-Hajj. And people, they don't even learn the ahkam, and they go and then they say, oh, how can that be? God is merciful. God is merciful. You see people doing Hajj and performing Hajj and their whole rituals. Come and learn. Come sit 1 hour, half an hour. Just learn the basics of manasik al-Hajj if you don't want to go to details. So this is the situation, that the Hajj is invalid. Question number 2. So if someone realized that his sa'i was invalid in Umrah al-Tamattu, when after the noon of the day of Arafah, that's where the people, they have to be in Hajj, in the state of Hajj in Arafah, the first after entering the state of Ihram, you are in Arafah. Okay, what does that mean? That means he did not exit the Ihram of Umrah al-Tamattu. What does that mean? He's still in the Ihram. Let's see the question. If someone realizes the invalidation of his sa'i in Umrah al-Tamattu, which is part of Hajj al-Tamattu, when did he realize? After the noon time on the day of Arafah. Okay, what was the reason for invalidation? He realized there was some problem in some of the pillars of sa'i. Okay, out of unawareness with regards to its rulings. So jahl, unawareness. So he realized that his sa'i is invalid. Is it possible for him excuse me, is it possible for him to perform the sa'i and taqsir and tawaf of nisa and the salat of tawaf nisa, so that it will be considered umrah mufrada بدلا من عمرة التمتع? Okay, so So he says that, okay, he realized on the day of Arafah, the sa'i was invalid. Now, can he just perform the sa'i and taqsir? And because, if the sa'i was invalid, the taqsir is not correct. If the taqsir is invalid, then uh, so what happens here? The question is like this. He did the tawaf. He did the 2 rakat of tawaf in Umrat al-Tamattu. But sa'i was invalid. What he's trying to ask is, can we change this invalidation of Hajj issue to Umrah Mufrada? So basically in Umrah Mufrada, what do you need beside Umrah al-Tamattu? Tawaf al-Nisa. So he says, can he redo the sa'i and redo the taqsir and then perform Tawaf al-Nisa and Salat al-Tawaf al-Nisa so that it is converted to Umrah Mufrada instead of Umrah al-Tamattu? He says you can't do that because invalidation of the sa'i indicates invalidation of the ihram. So if the ihram is not there, why? Because he went to Arafat in the noon time and entered the state of ihram of Hajj, which is with so the ihram of Hajj is invalid. The ihram of Hajj is invalid. Why? Because he's still in the ihram of Umrah al-Tamattu. In Umrah al-Tamattu, if you don't complete it until noon of 10th al-Hajj, 9th al-Hajj, the time of Arafat, then there's a problem in that ihram as well. So it's like a problematic situation where someone did not perform the sa'i, or he performed the sa'i, but there were some problems in the pillars of sa'i, essential parts of the sa'i, that even out of unawareness, it becomes invalid. So he says, no way you can convert it to Umrah Mufrada because the ihram got messed up. So he says, question number 3. Someone performing Umrah Mufrada, if he abandons the sa'i, does not perform the sa'i between Safa and Marwa, be it intentionally or out of unawareness about the obligation of sa'i, or out of forgetfulness. Okay, no sa'i. But then he did tawaf al-Nisa. So does his Umrah become invalid? And will the women, because he did tawaf al-Nisa, but that means if the sequence is required, then tawaf al-Nisa is also invalid. So he says, are the women going to be prohibited to him? Like his wife, is she going to be prohibited upon him until he performs second Umrah? He says the Umrah of Mufrada does not become invalid because of not performing the sa'i in Umrah Mufrada. In Umrah al-Tamattu and Hajj al-Tamattu, that's something else. We are talking now to Umrah Mufrada. In Umrah Mufrada, he says, Umrah does not become invalid. Rather, it that person remains in the state of ihram, because his taqsir was invalid, the tawaf al-Nisa was invalid, salat tawaf al-Nisa was invalid. So he is still in the state of ihram until he performs the sa'i, and after the sa'i, taqsir. And then he has to perform Tawaf al-Nisa. But he did repeat the Tawaf al-Nisa. Okay? And the Salat of Tawaf al-Nisa. Then only women will become halal upon him. Otherwise, women will not become, his wife will not become halal upon him. Number 4. If a person realizes that his sa'i in the Umrah after taqsir was invalid, after taqsir he realized that the sa'i was invalid, then is it necessary for him to wear the dress of ihram again to perform the sa'i? Okay, so he exited the ihram. So he did the taqsir, he thought he's out of ihram, he exited ihram, so he took off his dress of ihram. So now in this case, after realizing that the sa'i was invalid and the taqsir was invalid and the tawaf al-nisa was invalid, so now does he have to wear the dress of ihram again? Like I said, you come back to your hometown and then you go wear this and go to the university or work. They think you a Muslim Dalai Lama wearing two cloths of white thing. So he says, number one, if the sa'i is invalid, the taqsir is invalid, and the tawaf al-nisa is invalid, everything is chain. So he is in his state of ihram. That means he did not exit the state of ihram. And what should he do? Therefore, it is obligatory upon him to avoid all the prohibitions of ihram, such as the dress, stitched attire, okay? Stitched dress, that is one of the prohibitions of ihram. So, one of the prohibitions of ihram, yeah, هو باق على إحرامه وعليه أن يجتنب محرمات الإحرام من المخيط وغيره. So you have to go, you have to wear your dress of ihram. You can't just wear your suit, shirt, pant, tie. No. Everything needs to be as a person who's in the state of ihram. Until that person exits the state of ihram properly with the proper manasik. Question number 5. If someone realized about the invalidation of his sa'i after a day or more, and he was unaware about the ruling, would it be obligatory upon him to redo the tawaf and salatul tawaf? He says no. He doesn't need to redo the tawaf and salatul tawaf in such case, as long as he was not intentionally unaware, or unaware intentionally, like his ignorance was not intentional, like there was no one who could teach him, circumstances, he was in such circumstances. So فلتجب عليه إعادة الطواف لا يبعد عدم الحاجة إلى إعادتهما. There is no need for him to repeat the tawaf and the salat of tawaf in such example, as long as his unawareness was not intentional, as long as his unawareness was not intentional. So what about an increase? So next Q&A section is an increase or decrease in the rounds of sa'i. Let's see. Question number 1. Someone performed 14 rounds, believing that it is wajib. So what would be his ruling? Remember, we had done this ruling inside the context of the theme. So here, the thing is that he increased 7 rounds. He thought that going is 1 round, coming back is another. No, he thought that going and coming from Safa to Marwa, Marwa to Safa, this is 1 full round. So he thought that this is the way the round is, not half round. Okay, it's from Safa to Marwa, that's a round, but it is half round actually. So when he hears 7 rounds, 7 rounds, 7 rounds, he thought that the whole circle, like the tawaf around the Kaaba. So someone performed 14 rounds in the sa'i, believing that this is what is obligated upon him. So what is the ruling? If he was unaware unintentionally, okay, jahil qasir, not deliberate. This is how he understood. He attended the sessions and this and that. I mean, he tried his best to know, or there was no one who could teach him, or yani, he tried his best to learn, but there was nobody there, or it did not encounter in his mind that is it half a round or is it full round, which is considered round. So if it was he was unintentional, unaware, then there is no problem. Otherwise, the validity would be problematic. So it's a case of obligatory precaution. Question number 2. Someone saw people jogging. Okay, you know there are 2 pillars between Safa and Marwa. These 2 pillars, it's recommended to jog. Okay, I'm not using the word run because run is like hit and run kind of thing. But I can say slow running, like people they you can say running as well. It's not a problem. So it's a run. So while going to Safa Marwa, you do the harwala, you do the jogging. While coming back, again you pass by these 2 green pillars, you jog. So in this case, question is, someone saw people, they were doing running or jogging. He thought that this is something obligatory. So he came back. He had passed these green lights. So he came back to perform the sa'i in a jogging phase. So what is his ruling? Because he thought jogging must be done. So he came back. So فرجع القهقري وواصل سعيه مهرولا. He came all the back, and then he started performing his sa'i in the. So what is the ruling? It is the validity of his sa'i is problematic. That is a case of obligatory precaution. Refer to someone else. If you don't find anyone, then do the sa'i again. Unless if he was unaware he was unaware unintentionally. That means he was not intentional unaware. So he was not ignorance. His ignorance was not deliberate, as we mentioned several times. Question number 3. The guide of the Hajj, guide of the Hajjat, or whomsoever. Sometimes during the sa'i, he comes ahead, he goes behind. Okay, that's the guide of the Hajjaj. So if that guide considers when he comes back and he goes, comes back, goes. Sometimes he comes back like reverse. Sometimes he goes ahead. So the sa'i is being added, or somehow he comes back facing there's a problem here. Okay. Either he's coming back, looking at giving the back towards the destination. So destination is Marwa. He's giving back to Marwa and coming back to Safa. Or he's coming back and then he's going in front. So the question says قد يتقدم ويتأخر. Sometimes he may go up front and sometimes he comes back to see that everybody is coming and following or not. He says if this person was unintentionally unaware, then it would not affect the validity of his Hajj. Unintentional unawareness. Question number 4. Again, if someone intended 14 rounds and after he completed the 7th, he realized, oh, I mean, his friends say, hey, wait, where are you going? This is my like 3.5 round. I need to complete it 4. And then, so he was counting like the whole 2 halves as 1 round. So his friend told me, no, we are done. How can we are done? I've not done 7 rounds. There are only 3.5. No, Baba, this is the 7th. And 7 round means like going Safa to Marwa 1 round, coming back 1 round, like that. He says that if he stopped on 7th, when he realized, then his sa'i is okay. There's nothing upon him. Someone performed sa'i 10 rounds out of forgetfulness. Then he realized the extra. So discontinued the sa'i and made it short. That is, made it 7. Okay. No, sorry. Made it short, like he did not continue 10 rounds. It doesn't say where did it stop. So someone performed the sa'i 10 rounds out of forgetfulness. Then he realized that these are extra. So he stopped. So it was out of forgetfulness. And does the taqsir. So what will be his ruling? That means he exited the state of ihram. He says sa'i will be correct. There's nothing upon him because those extra rounds were out of forgetfulness. He was not ignorant, so we can say unintentional or intentional. Question number 6. If someone performs less round in the sa'i. Like, for example, he did not complete 1 round. He abandoned in the half of the round. And then he forgot to continue. Will it be sufficient for him to complete whenever he remembers? Will it be sufficient for him to complete whenever he remembers? He says, on the basis of obligatory precaution, if the commonly observed continuity is missed, he needs to redo the sa'i because there's the whole thing is commonly considered consistency. So if that is missed, he has to redo the whole thing again. But no, I mean, he did half of the 1 round. Like he was going to Marwa and in the middle, he abandoned. And he forgot to complete the remaining of the sa'i. So will it be possible for him to complete it whenever he remembers? He said, on the basis of obligatory precaution, if he misses the commonly considered continuity, then he needs to redo it on the basis of obligatory precaution, we said. It's same. The concept is one. These are all applications. That you abandon the SAEE, you come back to complete either part, either full round, either half round, either part of round, like this ruling, question. So the whole thing boils to the muwalat, commonly considered consistency when you're going to continue. If you have violated the commonly considered consistency, you have to redo it on the basis of obligatory precaution. So question number 6 was if he performed part of a round from the SAEE and then he forgot to continue the remaining part. So if the commonly considered consistency is there, continue and finish it off. If not there, redo the whole thing. If someone performs the taqsir, exits the state of ihram, and realized that the sa'i was incomplete, so what should he do? So he clipped, he did the taqsir. So what should he do? He says, if that was in Umrat al-Tamattu, Umrah of Hajj, if that was Umrat al-Tamattu, okay, and the deficit in the sa'i happened due to the forgetfulness, then he should slaughter a cow. Wow. Cow, wow. Don't forget the sa'i. On the basis of obligatory precaution. How if all the maraja, they say the same thing? So then who will you refer to? So it's an obligatory precaution. Someone might have abandoned this obligatory precaution. Otherwise, the cow is costly to slaughter a cow. Because you are in the Umrah Tamattu. Umrah Tamattu is part of Hajj Tamattu. And yeah, and you did the taqsir. What does it mean? You cut off your hair and you're still muhrim. How can you cut off your hair, do taqsir, and you're muhrim? Yeah, because the sa'i is incomplete. You can't exit. So when you clip the ihram, clip the hair, it was not the real taqsir. It was cutting off your hair while state of ihram. Yeah. So he says if the deficit was out of forgetfulness, then on the basis of obligatory precaution, he should pay the penalty. A cow would be penalty upon him on the basis of obligatory precaution. And then after that, he can perform the sa'i and redoes the taqsir, to repeat the taqsir. That taqsir was not sufficient on the basis of obligatory precaution. However, this was where في عمرة التمتع, and he had forgotten. Rules of forgetfulness are a bit lesser than the rules of unawareness. Unawareness is not accepted. You're going for Hajj and you're unaware about knowing the manasik al-Hajj. So that is number one. Out of forgetfulness. So what about if it was unaware? He did not perform the sa'i, or the sa'i was incomplete due to unawareness. بعدد أشواط السعي مثلا. He doesn't know how many rounds the SAFAA and MARWA is. So he did not know how many rounds SAFAA and MARWA is. So however, if the deficit happened out of unawareness in the numbers of rounds required in sa'i, for example, or the umrah was not umrah al-tamattu, it was umrah al-mufrada, or it was the sa'i of hajj, then there'll be no cow. فلا تلزمه الكفارة بل يتم سعيه. He will complete his sa'i and he will redo the taqsir, and there is nothing upon them. There's nothing, just no cow, no nothing. So just do their taqsir. After you have done your missing things, do the taqsir, and after the taqsir, there's no harm, nothing upon him, no obligations. Question number 8. Whoever doubts in the validity of his sa'i and he wanted to repeat it as a precautionary measure, so should he have a gap between them? We mentioned that there has to be a gap. Say the Sistani says on the basis of obligatory precaution, there has to be a gap. What type of gap? How long? Long enough to consider that the consistency between the rounds has been lost between the previous sa'i and the new sa'i. So if you don't leave a back gap, it will be like 14 rounds, and that will invalidate the sa'i. So he says, whoever doubts in his in the validity of his sa'i and he wanted to repeat it on the precaution, based on precautionary measures, is it necessary for him to separate them? He says yes, on the basis of obligatory precaution. Al-ahwat. To separate them that much time which they commonly considered continuity or consistency is lost. And if he does, then there will be a problem, unless if whatever he did was based on unintentional ignorance, unintentional awareness. Let's see what's left. Okay. So let's take these 8 rulings about the doubt. Question number 1. Remember, let me remind you, since we are doing the rule of the doubt, so let me remind you that rules of the doubt are several. One is, and these are all taken from the narrations of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salatu wasalam. One of them is what? That if you have certainty and you doubt in the removal of that certainty, then you will continue that certainty and ignore the doubt. I know that this was pure. Then our doubt, did any najasat splash on it or not? We will consider, no, previous it was yaqeen and it was pure, yes. We will consider that yaqeen. That is one type of rule. Another rule, wherever there's no previous certainty and I doubt, I come in a place, I don't know whether it was pure or whether it was not pure. I don't know about it. So what happens that it's equally, both sides are equal. Because I just came in and one tells me that this place is najis. One tells me the place is pure. One tells me it's impure. One other says, so I have like this doubt. So in this case, what should I do? Do I know that the previous status? No, I don't know the previous status. Was it najis before? I have to continue najis. Was it pure before? I have to continue the purity. No, I don't have that. Equal. If it's equally yes and no, okay, then in this doubt, I should ignore and consider my action correct. Okay, I should ignore the doubt. If whatever you don't know about halal and haram, and there's no any indication of such thing being haram, then you are able to consider it halal, consider it pure, consider it halal. So this is the doubt when 50-50 are side and there's no previous state. The doubts which we have been taking in manasik al-hajj is one of them is qa'idatul faragh. After you're done with a ritual and you doubt in the validity of the act which you have completed. You completed faragh, you're farigh, you're done with it. But then you doubt after completing it. Did I do right or wrong? So this is, you are not doubting in the existence of the action. You're doubting in the what? In the validity of the action. Was my surah correct or not? After saying waladdallin. Was my ruku correct or not? After raising your head from the ruku. So whenever you are done with something, okay, this is called qa'idatul faragh. So whenever doubt encounters about this was valid or not, consider it valid. Qa'idat al-tajawuz, like not only finishing, no, you finish and you move to some other stage or other ibadat. So in this case, what will happen? We lose qa'idat al-tajawuz, rule of passing over. You passed over that place. So for example, you are doubting in the ruku'. Did I recite? So we are doubting in the existence. The qa'idat al-faragh was about validity. Qa'idat al-tajawuz is about bringing or not bringing, existence of the action or not. Did I recite Surah Fatiha or not? You are in ruku'. No, you recited it. Carry on, move on. You are in sujood. Subhana Rabbil. Did I do the ruku' or not? Baba, you are in sujood. You have passed over to another action. So don't doubt. Even if you doubt that the ruku' is not done, it doesn't have any value for that doubt, because the doubt is after passing over that act of worship which people with that person is doubting. So let's see the ruling here about the doubt. Okay. Question number 1. He says in the manasik, in the text of the rules of Hajj, it was mentioned that there is no value of doubt in the rounds of sa'i, in Umrat al-Tamattu, after the taqsir. So once you did the taqsir, after the sa'i, there's taqsir. So you passed over. So now, oh my goodness, did I do how many rounds of sa'i did I do? So he says, you're doubting in the existence of the rounds. Did you do or not? You have already passed over in a next ibadah. So just ignore the doubt. Okay. So he says that the questioner asked like that it has been mentioned in the manasik al-hajj, or the rules of hajj, that there is no value of doubting in the numbers of the round in Umrat al-Tamattu after taqsir. This is, he says, you mentioned in the manasik, Sayyidina. The doubt is in the number of the sa'i rounds. Did I do 7? Did I 6? Or did I do 5? I said, no, just 7. You did 7. Will this ruling be applied on Umrah al-Mufrada as well? The ruling of ignoring the doubt, okay, in the number of the sa'i after taqsir. So will this be applied in the Umrah al-Mufrada if the doubt came during the shaving? Because Umrah Mufrada, you can shave your head and you can do also taqsir, clipping of your hair. So he says that during the shaving or during the clipping of the hair. He says, yeah, doesn't matter. لا يعتني كذلك. Similarly, he doesn't need to take that into consideration. Just ignore the doubt. Ignore the doubt or neglect it. You don't need to take it into consideration. So this is something which is about Umratul Mufrada. No, Umrat al-Tamattu. And does the rule apply for Umrah Mufrada, which has been mentioned about Umrat al-Tamattu? He says, yes, it applies. And one should ignore the doubt here because he has already gone into the next phase, which is taqsir. Question number 2. If somebody doubts after passing over a day after his tawaf, that did he do the sa'i or not? So what would be his responsibility? So now he's doubting in the existence of sa'i entirely, the whole package. So he said on the basis of obligatory precaution, one should perform the sa'i. Okay. So after one day of a tawaf, one day has passed the tawaf. So he doubts now, did he perform the sa'i or not? He says he needs to perform the sa'i on the basis of obligatory precaution. However, it's not obligatory upon him to redo the tawaf and the salat of tawaf. Redo the tawaf and the salat of tawaf. Obviously, because it comes before the in sequence, before the sa'i. So if there was a problem in performing the sa'i, a doubt, did I do or not? Then obviously he will have to, so on the basis of obligatory precaution, he needs to perform the sa'i. And then after the sa'i comes taqsir. After the taqsir comes salat tawaf al-nisa, salat tawaf al-nisa. Does he need to repeat the tawaf al-nisa and salat of tawaf al-nisa? He says he does not need to repeat it. If a person doubts after a day from his tawaf and from his tawaf, that did he perform the sa'i or not? Okay. So he says on the basis of obligatory precaution, he must perform the sa'i. However, he does not need to redo the tawaf and salat al-tawaf unless if he has a probability that abandoning the sa'i was done intentionally and deliberately. In that case, on the basis of obligatory precaution, he needs to redo the tawaf and the salat of tawaf in this case. So if he knows that the delay was done deliberately, he did not do the sa'i, he deliberately delayed the sa'i. Question number 3. So, if you recall, one of the rules of doubt, one of the rules of doubt was what? We said doubt, equal doubt, that's halal, that's purity. Doubt with the previous knowledge, that doubt is we have to ignore the doubt and extend the previous continuity. If you recall, we had mentioned that we have certainty, we have larger probability, we have doubt, we have lower probability, we have total awareness, unawareness. So total unawareness, ignorance is 0%. Doubt is 50-50. Certainty is 100%. Now, in the middle of 50-50 and total ignorance, and the middle of 50-50 and the larger probability or certainty, there's larger probability. So we have larger probability, lower probability. So if I, again, yaqeen, dhann, larger probability, shak, doubt, lower minor probability, ihtimal, and then we have jahl, unawareness. So awareness, unawareness, and there's a spectrum in between. So if we know this this spectrum, so this doubt is in the middle. In the rules of Salah, we mentioned that sometimes larger probability is dealt as doubt. Sometimes larger probability is dealt like yaqeen. So if you can see, these my three fingers, we have the doubt is here. We have yaqeen. No, this is larger probability, and this is doubt, and this is the yaqeen. So yaqeen, larger probability, and the doubt. So sometimes this larger probability, in some rules it takes the rule of doubt. In some rule, it takes the rule of yaqeen. Okay, how's that? Give you an example. Doubt in the af'al as-salah, in the actions of salah. So I don't know, did I stood up? I don't know, did I do the ruku or not? Or no, I'm in sajda. Okay, I don't know, doubt. Maybe I did the ruku, maybe I did not do the ruku. Khalas, you are in the sujood. That means you have already gone into the next phase of salah. So here, this is the ruling of doubt. However, if you gain larger probability in the sujood, I think most probably I have not done the salat. We'll say no. Your large probability is like doubt. And in the case of doubt, we just ignore. Okay. So larger probabilities in the doubts in action are considered as doubts. So this is doubt, this is larger probability, this is the certainty. So here, larger probability is taken towards the side of the doubt in the actions of salah. However, in the raka'at of salah, you have the doubt. Is it third or fourth? We'll say rule of doubt is just complete the considered fourth rakat, complete and perform salat al-ihtiyah. So now this guy who has doubt in the rakat, we say consider fourth rakat and finish it off, and then do rak'ah ihtiyatiyah, precautionary rak'ah. But then if he says no, I think I have larger probability that it is third rak'ah. So will we tell him to consider it the fourth? No. We will tell him stay until because he says that most probably, so he is a one, So it will be taken as yaqeen. We'll tell him, so that means it's your third rak'ah. But no, I'm not sure. But do you have one or doubt? No, larger probability I have it is fourth. Okay, or it is third. Khalas. Pray as third rak'ah. So see how probability in one place is takes the rules of doubts, in other place takes the rule of mujtahid. So this is something which I just wanted to point out to remind you about the doubts, the rules of the doubts which we took before and pointed out. So here, so what should somebody who has a dhan, larger probability in the sa'i, will that dhan be dealt as doubt, shak, or it will be dealt like yaqeen, certainty? Remember, as I said that um in actions of salah, this larger probability is taken towards doubt. In numbers of the rak'at of salah, now that larger probability is not taken towards youngsters. It takes towards the adult who forgot to I mean, who doubted in the third and the fourth rak'at, and then he just uh, he just forgot and he doubts now. Should I complete or should I just stop? So basically, the shak, the one will be associated with shak in the sa'i. So if you doubt, I don't know, it is fifth round or sixth round. We'll say is the no, he says yeah, but is wait. I think, if I'm not mistaken, most probably, larger probability, it is fifth round. So will it be considered like in the rak'at, we'll say whatever you believe, that's it, or no, we'll tell him to consider it like shak. So he says, no, it is considered like shak. One larger probability in the sa'i, the round of sa'i, is considered like shak, as long as the awareness does not reach to the level of satisfaction. Then yes, he could consider it yaqeen. So we're talking about the dhan becomes shak, or is it dealt like shak, or is it dealt like yaqeen? Here it is dealt like shak. Okay, question number 4. Counting. So now people, when they do the sa'i or tawaf, someone is responsible for keeping the count, and someone is responsible for reciting the dua. So both of them, they go together. So is it permissible for someone who's performing sa'i to depend on the count of his friend in the numbers of the rounds of sa'i, as it was permissible in the tawaf? He said it is problematic. It is on the basis of obligatory precaution. You can't rely on the count of the rounds. You can't depend on your friend. Okay, so it's problematic. This is a case of obligatory precaution. As long as محل إشكال ما لم يحصل الاطمئنان بقوله. So as long as there is no itmi'nan, there is no satisfaction from the words of this friend, then it's problematic. However, if the friend's words give satisfaction, then that is something else. So mahal ishkal, it's a problematic situation as long as the itminan is not received. So the whole idea boils down to itminan, satisfaction. Question number 5. You know, there are people who have frequent doubts, kathiru shak, they doubt a lot. And we said in the book of Salah, we ignore your doubts. Don't you consider it khalas. No, but what if? Don't say what if. Just do carry on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept you. No, you are trying to be good to me. No, Baba. Our Imams, they have mentioned the person who has doubt, frequent doubts, he doubts abundantly. So Imam has said that to consider whatever you, but do not doubt. Eliminate the doubts, So that is a disease or that is a problematic situation to doubt and doubt and doubt. No, if you don't, and know the rules of doubt, they're easy. So the question number 5 is, does the rule of someone who doubts frequently, abundantly, mentioned in the chapter of Salat, is applied here in the chapter of SAEE upon the person who doubts abundantly? So he says, apparently, yes, it is applied. Because someone who is abundant doubt in any ibadat, the guy is struggling. So yeah, so he says there's no problem. Apparently, it is applied. Question number 6. If someone completed his sa'i between Safa and Marwa in hesitation, what type of hesitation? In the rounds, first, he says that in its validity. Was it valid or not? Was it valid? Or no, another scenario he gives, or he was doubting in the rounds of the sa'i. Okay, he was hesitant. Did I do 5 rounds? Did I do 4 rounds? 5 rounds, 4 rounds. Right? So he's hesitating in the rounds of the sa'i, or he's hesitating in the validity of the sa'i. So if someone performs a sa'i in hesitation in its validity or doubting in the numbers of the rounds, then later on, so somebody completes his sa'i in hesitation. In hesitation in what? Hesitating in its validity, or doubting in what? Doubting in its rounds, number of the rounds. But after that, he became certain that his sa'i was correct and there was no deficit in the sa'i. So, and there was no increase in the sa'i. So will this sa'i be valid? He says, yes, apparently it is valid. Question number 7. If someone is performing sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and just before arriving Marwa, he doubts, is the 7th or 9th? So what should he do? We said sa'i, doubts in sa'i, kiss your sa'i goodbye. يبطل سعيه and ويلزم الاستئناف. Kiss your sa'i goodbye. The sa'i becomes invalid and it needs to be redone. Final question in the chapter of sa'i. Question number 8. If someone doubts at the end of his round, end of the 5th round, لو شك الساعي, if someone who's performing sa'i doubted في نهاية الشوط بين الخامس والتاسع, ماذا يلزمه? He doesn't know. This is this last round. He doubt. Maybe this is the 5th round and not the 7th. Or no, maybe this is the ninth round and not seven. So he doubts either in decreasing or either in increasing. So what should he do? So he's doubting in the sa'i. And we said any doubt in the sa'i is the case of kiss your sa'i goodbye. So here, the thing is that he has to redo the sa'i. That means kiss your sa'i goodbye. The sa'i is invalid. This was all about the sa'i between Safa and Marwa. Inshallah, then we will enter go back to the main text again and do the rulings of taqsir. And after the taqsir, our Hajj, our Umrah will be completed. Then we enter the manasik al-Hajj. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.